Hey guys, I'm Monica, and this is part 2 of a video about elimination communication. In part 1, I discussed what is EC or elimination communication and how I was able to use that with both of my babies. So if you've not seen that video, be sure to check it out here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the common hurdles that you might run into when using this form of potty training and some tips and tricks that I have been able to navigate as I did this with both of my kids. I post videos twice a week, so if you want to see more videos like this, as well as tips and tricks on parenting, healthy living, and life with little ones, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. So you've decided that you're going to go ahead and give EC a try. So what do you need to know? It's probably best to start as early as you can conceive of doing so. With my son, I started at about 3 weeks, and this is just because I was just feeling a little bit intimidated by the process of just having a new baby. Even though I had 8 years of experience working with babies as a nurse, it was still an adjustment. So the next thing you want to do is make sure that you're set up. For the first week or so, you're just going to want to watch the baby. With my second, I didn't really have time to do that, but with my first, I found that it was helpful. And so what you do is you just get a blanket or a little pee pad, or not a blanket, I don't know why I keep saying blanket. A little pee pad or a towel, just something waterproof that you can lay the baby on. So I had, something like this, and then I would just put a little cloth diaper like this on top of it, and then I would just kind of lay him on that. And that way, if I didn't catch it, I could just throw this in the wash really quick. And this period, you're just going to be watching and seeing when you see those signals and just noticing what the baby does. So you're going to use this not just in that observation period, but anytime you're having diaper free time, just throw one of these under the baby since they're not mobile yet. Super simple. When they're newborns, I always recommend using cloth diapers because the disposable diapers wick the moisture away from them, and then they don't feel the wetness, and then they start to get used to it. So with the cloth diapers, these little pre-folds are great, and these are the smallest ones, and I found that since they're not going to be sitting in these diapers for any extended period, I never needed to use the bigger sizes. So I was able to use this pretty much the entire time, anytime I was using a pre-fold. And so this you just stick inside of one of these covers. So there's a couple different covers that you can get. This is a little Thirsties cover, and it's just it's got the pull liner on the inside, so it's waterproof. And then you just kind of stick the diaper inside there. It's a little pocket thing, and then it's got Velcro, and then you basically just use it like a regular diaper. And then another cover that I would use this more with my son because these are a little bit more work to keep clean. These pull ones, you just chuck them in the wash. These ones are a little bit more difficult. They're the wool covers. I can also do a video about cloth diapers because I feel like that's another thing altogether. But these little wool covers really work nicely too for those early stages. It's kind of hard to find underwear little enough for a 1-year-old. And so I was able to find 2 different types. So these are cute little undies, and they've got padding in them, but they're not waterproof. So if they have a pee in this, they're gonna get wet. And then these also have the padding in them too to kind of absorb some extra. And then if you hear that, they've got a little waterproof lining that kind of helps keep a little bit more of the moisture in. Whenever I first put them in undies, we would have occasional accidents, and so these were great. And then I would pair them with these little covers here. So I would just put these on first and then slip this on top, and then this would pretty much contain the pee. So if they were to have an accident when we were out, it wasn't that big of a deal. I just changed these, have a little wet bag that I would stick them in, and then put another pair of undies on. Okay, so the biggest, most helpful thing that you're going to want to have is potties, which is why I have, 5. This is the little baby Bjorn potty, and I really like this one because it's got the low back. So this was the one I use in the car now, but when they're little, I use this one a lot before they're able to sit up on their own. This little insert comes out, and what I do is I'll just sit it in my lap and then hold the baby over me, kind of with the potty in my lap. And then there's also the tall back potty by Baby Bjorn that I like too, because this one, when they get a little bit, sturdier, they can sit on this one and it kind of supports their backs. And it also comes out and has the little insert, so it's easy to dump it and clean it. And then you can also just use the little potty insert on this one as well if you didn't want to get both the low back and the high back. I just think this one would be kind of big for the car, and I use it for the car. The insert is going to be the key for the first 6 months. The other option is this little summer infant one. So this one's a little bit bigger, but it also has a little top hat potty. I didn't think it doesn't work as well just because it's a little bit bigger, so it's harder. I don't know, just the Baby Bjorn one is a little smaller, so it's a little easier, I think, to sit in your lap, but this one works as well. And then the other one that I have for when they get even a little bit bigger and they want to sit on the potty like a big kid is this little potty insert here. And I like it because it's got the little handles and it's got the little pee guard here, and so they're able to just sit on the big potty by themselves, and they really like to do that. And then I also have a car one that's called a potette, and this one's got little legs that fold down. You can sit it down or you can fold it out so that it can go on top of the potty. So it's a nice little travel potty as well for when you're on the go. And then another thing that I will do whenever I'm out and about with them, if I don't have a little potty, is I will hold them in this EC position, and I can hold them over the potty like this. If you don't have one of your little potty inserts to sit them on, it works great. And I was able to do that with Jude, my oldest, until he was probably 3 years old. Having potties in the different rooms is really helpful. So you don't have to have 5 potties, 6 potties. You can just have one potty and just take it with you, but like, especially in the beginning, whenever you are doing the diaper free time, just having that potty close, when you think they need to go, you can just kind of pop it on your lap, pop the kid on your lap. The next thing we're going to talk about is diaper free time. This is what you want to do as much as possible, as much as you can. Some people do this constantly, but for me, it was like when I had the time and when I had the energy, I would, make sure that I would do it as much as I could. And so when I was doing that, I would use the pee pads like I showed you, and make sure that they're on that. And then also, if it's cold, you can get these little cute little baby leg warmers. And so I would just use these, and then that way they're not cold and you're still able to do that diaper free time. When you first start doing EC, if you start when they're newborn, you're gonna be like, wow, this is amazing, this is so great. It's really easy to catch those first few pees, but then around 6 months to a year, it starts to change a little bit. It gets a little different. Whenever they get mobile, and for my son, he started crawling like right before 5 months, and he was walking at like 8 months, so he was really mobile and really active, and he didn't really want to take the time always to use the bathroom. And this is very common when they're going through mental leaps or when they're getting new skills, they want to do that, and they're very busy playing. You might see that they go through what some people call a potty strike or potty pauses, and we experienced this too. And you just still continue to offer the potty. You still continue to offer the potty, and you're gonna get more misses in these stages. And sometimes, you might go like an entire week with not catching anything, and this can get like really stressful, especially if you're not used to this. If you move or if you're on vacation, anything can kind of happen, and this can kind of throw them off. Sometimes they're just wanting to exert their independence, and they're not worried about peeing right now. They wanted to go play, and that's okay. You're working with them, and you're just still letting that potty be available. You're still offering the opportunity, and you don't want it to turn into a thing where you're getting frustrated or they're being reprimanded, because again, they're babies and this is a learning process. It was, between like 12 months, 15, 16 months is when it just clicks for them. And then that's when they start communicating to you and being able to make the connection, and then they know when they need to go, versus just you're offering the potty and then they release. They know, oh, it's coming, and then they can actually take themselves to the potty, or they can tell you. I absolutely recommend signing you do the little T and you shake your hand. So this is what we do for the potty sign. And then after that period, I felt like there's like a few months where it's like half EC, which is like where I feel like EC is where you're offering the potty and you're hands-on with the process, towards potty learning, which is where they know when they need to go and they tell you when they need to go, and they can take themselves. And then it's like the EC part's kind of gone, and then they're like potty trained. Another thing that some people might be a little concerned about is having the time to do EC when you have two. So for me, my kids were 25 months apart, so when I had my second one, my oldest was about 2 years old, a little over 2 years old. But it was great because he was already totally potty independent at this point, minus me needing to wipe his butt when he poops. It is a little bit different, and like I said, I was able to start earlier with my second, but I didn't have as much diaper free time as I did with the first. For me, I would just need to have a little bit of a break where I'd put the diaper on. I would still offer the potty when the diaper was on, but I would just have it there as a backup so that I wouldn't have to worry about just, accidents. And that brings me to another point, using a timer. So with the second again, you've got a lot going on. So I would just set a timer on my phone, and then as the timer went off, I would just offer the potty. And so just using a timer just helped remind me to take the diaper off and offer her the potty. And sometimes she would go and sometimes she wouldn't. So my top tips at the end of the day would be just offer as much diaper free time as you can. So make it work for your family. You'll find you'll be able to navigate this process, and then it will become second nature and easy. If you just go with the flow and you just kind of ride this process out, you're gonna learn, and your baby in turn is gonna learn how to become potty independent. Please leave a comment and tell me how EC is going for you, or if you have questions that you want me to answer, leave them in the comments and I'll try to do a Q&A soon. If there's tips and tricks that I didn't cover that you think might be useful or something that worked for you, leave that in the comments as well. I hope you found these tips and tricks helpful, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.